Three, two, one, bang. What's going on, YouTube? It is Nick here again with another video. Today we're going to be going over something new, a new topic, thank goodness. The topic is about family. This is one of the foundational pillars in the 8 pillars of a life worth living. And I'm going to be diving deep today on that in my own personal life. And I'm going to be sharing some stories with you. And we're going to kind of go over everything at the end. So I hope you guys pay attention, and I hope you guys like and subscribe if this resonates with you. Let's get into it. Moral of the story. We could talk all day and all night, but no amount of success matters if your family or your household is in shambles. If it's falling apart, if there's nothing there, if there's no protection, if there's no guidance, if there's no love, if it's just warfare, if it's just selfishness, you got to start over. You got to go back to basics. You got to go to the concrete foundation and knock it down. Knock down what you built to rebuild the foundation of family. My personal story was much different than the average kid my age. I was born in the 90s, and growing up, going to friends' houses, it was a lot different. You know, being at their home, sleepovers for the week, for the weekend, whatever it was. The mother or the father of my friend, they would cook breakfast, they would cook dinner. And every time we ate, even if I was there, we ate as a family, we ate as a group, we ate as a collective. We discussed how our day was, what we were thinking about, how X, Y, and Z was going. And I didn't do that at my household. I didn't know really how to even interact or even how to share like they were sharing. And I didn't know what was wrong for a long time. I didn't know why my household was different than my friends' households. It wasn't just because they decided to be more open. It was a fundamental difference in the way that they were living their life, and I could feel it when I was there. You know, growing up the way that I did was tough. The lack of support, the lack of guidance, the lack of stability, the lack of safety. I'm sure if any of my family saw this video, they would probably question it. But that's because they never dug deep enough to really see the true picture of what was going on. You know, I think and I believe, and this is how I will be when I have children, a protector, a provider, a shepherd. It's important that we do that for the people in our life that not only did we create, but the ones that we love, our friends, extended family, not even immediate family, strangers on the street. And truly, that starts with good heart posture and good mind posture. And the question that I still asked myself was, why was my life different? Why was my reality different than my friend's life? And I couldn't figure that out until I got older. As I got older, I realized that God had designed family to be the foundation for love, for support, for guidance, for legacy within the household. And not having this in my life affected me in ways that I'm still uncovering now in 2025. God developed family and implemented the family unit to be one, to be a collective, to be the reason that you grow up to be the man or the woman that you are to become. And again, as I got older, I realized that my friends' families weren't living selfish lives. They didn't just have kids because it was the thing to do. They didn't just stumble across a baby in their home and realized, oh, we have a baby. You know, these were like fundamental things that they decided upon, and they believed in God. They were living beyond just material needs, beyond just surviving. They had taken on the role of protector, provider, thriver, striving for a life truly worth living, to be able to give back, not just a physical dollar bill, but to give back wisdom and knowledge, to point them in the direction that they would be able to point their kids in that direction, and their kids would be able to point them in that direction, to continue that and strengthen that as time goes on. Family becomes the first of many in our lives. The first relationships that we have, affection, love, feelings of joy, support. And as we're growing up, these are the most crucial, most impactful moments in our life. And it is most imperative that we have leaders in our lives doing everything they can to guide us and direct us beyond this material world. Having a strong family, a base, a place where you can go no matter how your day went, whether it was good or bad. You have people, you have your collective unit that you can share with, your safe space. It's so important for not just the people you're bringing up in your life, but for you yourself to be able to provide that for you, to be able to provide safety and security. So if your house is in shambles, but you have money in the bank, or you have a big house, you're so far from success. Your foundation is already broken. And in a matter of time, it will crumble if it's not corrected. If the patches and the gaps that are there are not filled in and completely renewed, which is ironic because in today's societal norms, regardless of the family unit isn't even spoken about. It's how much money do you have? What degree do you have? What kind of car do you drive? What neighborhood are you in? You know, what private school did you go to? And all of those things are great. They're amazing, but they mean nothing if you don't have a strong family foundation to support it all. So let's make sure our families are rooted in faith and purposeful. And I know that not all families are perfect. I myself come from an imperfect family. And this is not to call anybody out. It's not to bring shame upon myself or others, but it's to push the envelope for all of us to be better and to do better and to be mindful about the direction that we're headed. There's still hope. That is what I am saying. And if you've watched this far, you know exactly what I'm saying. You resonate with this message. You know, you don't have to feel hurt or ashamed for the way that your family might have been growing up. Your brothers and sisters, your father, your mother, your grandparents, maybe cousins, whatever it might be. You can always rebuild. You can create new relationships. You can mend old relationships. Faith is the first pillar that I went over. But the next one in line, and none of these are really in order, but you start with faith, and family is the second pillar to hold you accountable to who you are, to hold you to God's direction and his messages for you, to bring you in this physical realm and this reality that we all live in, to be as prosperous and abundant as we can possibly be. And again, if you're still watching this video, you obviously want a life worth living. Family isn't always pretty, as we spoke about. They can be hard to deal with, or even just straight up disappointing, to be honest with you. But forgiveness is the cure to brokenness. So if you can, pray for someone right now. Pray for somebody specifically in your family. The first person that comes to mind, I want you to say a prayer for them. Whether they hurt you, whether they loved you, they need your prayer in this moment. And you need to pray for them in this moment because of how you will be afterwards. Let them and God know how much you love them. Maybe that you forgive them. And after that, in that prayer, ask God to keep helping you and directing you, to mold you and your mind posture and your heart posture to be in line and in tune with him, and to help you move toward your goal and your mission in life that you truly want to be living. Doing any of this is far from an easy task, especially if you're older, you've never taken the time. There's a lot to uncover. There's a lot to take into account and really heal from. This is not easy to do, and you need to start healing so that you can become better in this life for yourself and for everybody around you. You know, in life we meet a lot of people, and we're not always with others, whether we're out and about, whatever it might be. But the one person that you always bring around, the one person that you are always speaking to, that you're always loving or hating, is yourself. So let's start there, and let's treat ourselves as best as we can. Here are 3 ways to help grow the family pillar. Things that you can do this week. The first one would be to pray for somebody in your family this week. Every single day, whoever comes to mind, maybe it's the same person. Send them your love, send them your thanks. Say a prayer for them. The second one would be to reach out to somebody that maybe quite possibly you've grown distant from, someone that needs to hear your voice. The first person that comes to mind when you hear this, that's the person you should be contacting. Reconnect with. Let them know you're still alive, you're still kicking it, and you're growing into who you're supposed to truly become. And lastly, go ahead and reflect on what you've been through in your life, whether it was good or bad. Invite God into those moments, into the uncertainty, into the certainty, and ask him for healing. Ask him for guidance, ask him for wisdom, and reflect upon what he brings to you, what surfaces. Because what surfaces is probably something that you need to focus on, or it's things that you've already been focusing on and you need clarity and you need healing from it. So go ahead and ask him, call on him. You could write it down, you could pray about it, you could speak about it. Just invite God in. We need to be the change that we wish to see in the world. And that starts with every single one of us watching this right now. We're all gonna have kids. We're all co-workers. We're all part of families. And the better we are in ourselves and in tune with who we truly are, the identity that God has given us, the better we can help the world, and the better we can reflect upon where we are and where we want to be. This starts with one step at a time, one prayer at a time, and one family at a time. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, if this resonates with you, and subscribe along for the journey. Family is just one part of a life worth living. Next up on the list is the third pillar, which is going to be finance, and how faith ties into finance as well. Thank you for tuning in. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one.